Hi guys, my name is Kaylee and I am bringing you a low impact 30-minute workout today. So for today's class, we're following a format of 30 in 30. So we're going to do 30 exercises in 30 minutes. All of these exercises are low impact. There's very little loading into wrists and knees, for example. So it should be a good one for most. We've got optional use of hand weights here, and I recommend just some small ones. I've got 1 kilo. I'd go up to maybe 2s and 3s, but it's more high reps rather than heavy weights. So if you want to, grab onto some hand weights. You may see me looking down. I've got my timer going as well. Otherwise, I'll start waffling on and you'll die. You'll absolutely burn through those muscles. So we're going to start with a plie squat. Take your feet about twice as wide as your shoulders, or your hips at least, with toes and knees turned out. Your hands are just going to rest in front of your hips here as you stand tall, and keeping your upper body upright, we're going to sink our bottom down, take the arms out wide, and then stand tall. We're going to sink back down and stand tall. So now that you're moving, I'm going to start my timer. See what I mean? All right, so we're moving here. Getting the whole body warmed up. We've got first 10 minutes or so in standing, and we are going to get that heart rate up, but in that low impact manner as I did describe. So if this is feeling a little bit too strong in your shoulders, especially if you have chosen to work with some hand weights here, you can bend your elbows to 90 degrees, and that's going to reduce that load, so you can still work with the hand weights. And just keeping in mind, it is more of a plie than a squat, so that back should stay upright. We don't want to be leaning forward like we would for a more traditional squat, so it is a little bit different there. Nice and open through the hips as we are sinking down. We're going to go for 3 more now. 1, 2, we're holding the last one down there. So just as low as you're not leaning forward, feel like your tailbone is heavy. We're going to stay low and anchored through the hips. So we come into a really gentle mermaid. One hand drops down and across towards the other hip as the other arm reaches across, sort of above that opposite shoulder. We're going to reach the arms out wide, up tall, and over in the other direction. And arms out wide. We're staying low in the legs the whole time. If this doesn't feel good in your knees, you can come up to standing and just work with the arms. And you're not reaching as far as you possibly can, but we are getting a little bit of a reach there, a little bit of side bending through the spine going on. Not too much. Beautiful. We're going to inhale over and exhale to come back, or any breathing is good. Make sure you're just not holding your breath. 1 more in each direction. Beautiful. Finishing off, we're going to take our arms out wide and pulse. So if that's feeling okay in your shoulders, you stay there. Alternative is again to bend the elbows into 90 degrees, or you can bring your hands to your hips and don't even worry about it. Legs might be getting quite warm now. Keep those knees turned out. Make sure they're not starting to fall in. Even feel like the arches of your feet are lifting away from your mat. And we're lengthening longer through the arms if you are holding them up. And breathing again. Can you sink down a little deeper? Whew. Okay, body is getting warm, but we're just getting started, so stay with me here. Got another 15 seconds like this. Choosing those options for the shoulders and probably more to the point the neck as required. 4, 3, 2, and standing tall. Hands can start on your hips here. We are going to squat down, and then as you stand, one hand reaches across as you lift that heel. We come back through center into that plie and over to the other side, introducing that little bit of gentle rotation. So a really nice workout here, low impact. And although we are loading up the muscles and working on strength and endurance, we're also increasing our mobility, which gets more and more important as we do age, and we want to stay on top of it and keep feeling really good. Reaching across. Again, if you do have mobility issues, In the shoulders, you can keep your hands on your hips and just get that rotation through the hips without the reach of the arm. And across we go. Knees nice and wide as you do squat down. Keeping your spine upright as you do come back into that squat. We want to keep our lower back really happy. Leaning forward might put a little bit too much load. One more each side. And standing tall. We're going to shuffle those feet into hip distance, and I'll show you from side on. Bring your hands up just under your chin. We're going to sit down into a real squat now. So sitting your bottom back. As you stand tall, optional overhead arms. Sinking down and reaching up. And reach. And we're maintaining our nice long neutral spine. Again, the arms are optional. You could prefer to do bicep curls if it does feel a little bit much into your neck or your shoulders. And watch those knees again. We don't want them rolling in. Feel like the arches are lifted. 2 more. Reaching tall. All right, bring your hands just underneath your chin again. Sink down, we're gonna stay low. We're gonna kick one leg back behind and then step that foot back under. Other side, little back kick and down. Kick and down. So we're practicing a transfer of weight here, but try not to let your hips shift way over to the side. Try to stay as centered as possible. And back. Working into the back of the leg and hip, as well as the fronts. It's not just about the quads here. If it is getting a bit too much, holding your hand weights up, bring your hands to your hips. Keep them close to your body though. We don't need that excessive load into the lower back. 20 seconds left here, if you like. Going faster. Good. Trying not to arch into your back here. Feel more that you're squeezing into your glutes and hamstrings. One more each side. Hold and pulse. And we're gonna stay low. Pulsing here. Another 10 seconds. We're gonna explode up tall. Optional heel raise. Ready, set, arms reach up. Lift the heels. Heels down, pulse. And you can do any part of that you prefer. So you can keep your hands down and you can keep your heels down. But we're gonna explode up again in 3, 2, 1. Reach, down, pulse. Breathing. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Whew. Getting warm now, especially under these lights. I don't know about you guys at home. For 4, 3, 2, and reach. Last round. Here it is. Breathing through. Getting ready. In 4, 3, 2, and explode. Excellent. Let's bring our arms by our sides. We're going to do an alternating lunge. Big step forward, then down into both knees, and come back. Other side. Lunging down and back. And again, I want your back to be upright. We don't want to be leaning forward today. We've done enough of that with our squats. Option to add your lateral raise as you do step forward. Take those arms out wide. And pushing back. Good. That's it. 2 more each side. Last one. Beautiful. We're going to stand to the back end of your mat here. We're coming into some roll downs. Grow tall through the ears. Inhale. Exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Round your shoulders forward and come all the way down. Those hand weights can go to the floor. Inhale, stay. And exhale to roll up. Restack your pelvis. Bring that upright. And then your spine sits just on top of that, all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, rolling down. And look, it might take you a couple of breaths to come all the way up and down because that heart rate has elevated and the breathing has gotten a little bit quicker. So do what you need to do. If you feel like you need a bit more support for your lower back, walk your hands down the front of your thighs and shins, hang from the hips at the bottom, and then walk yourself back up. So you've got that support. We've got one more only, but again, mobilizing and lengthening the body. A little bit of active recovery this one, and we are hanging from the hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. We're going to walk forward and come into a plank, but on our elbows. If you need to drop your knees to get into place, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, and with a neutral spine, lift those knees again. Toes tucked under, at hip distance apart, and if this is too strong, dropping to the knees, maybe pointing the toes to the ceiling. Feel like your rib cage is lifting up between your shoulder blades here. Your belly button is staying lifted to your spine, and as you do breathe, and don't forget to, I want you to feel the tightening of your waist. Especially with every exhalation, feel like you're tightening the muscles that wrap around your waist. 2 more breaths. And lower your knees. We are going to push onto our backs here. Woo. So lying on your back, bring your feet in close to your bottom and press your arms by your sides for hip rolls. So tilt your pelvis, peeling your spine away from your mat, from tail all the way up to between your shoulder blades. Inhale at the top and exhale, roll back down. We are trying to roll as best as we can. Inhale at the bottom. Use your exhale, engage the abdominals, make it really active, both on the way up and on the way down. And rolling back through. We do want to feel like we're getting a stretch into our hip flexors. And if you want to work a little harder, reach your arms up to the ceiling. So your glutes, your hamstrings, and your abdominals will be doing more work because your arms aren't helping. And rolling down. Next time you lift, we're going to hold those hips lifted. So getting all the way up, pressing your hips up. We want to find a straight line from your knees through your hips to your shoulders. Can you tuck your tailbone under? Feel those under butt muscles really fire up and feel like you're broad and open across your collarbones. We are holding here. We want to maintain this neutral spine now. So that means neutral through the lower back, that natural curve, natural length of the lower back, but also neutral through the abdominals. They don't shorten or lengthen here. From here, we're going to hinge at the hips. Inhale, lower the hips. Exhale, lift the hips up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. And you'll feel as you're no longer rolling and your abs are no longer helping you, there's more glutes and hamstrings here. If you need that support for your back, press your arms down and that will help. But mostly make sure you're not overlifting your ribs. We're not trying to lift up as high as we can into a big rainbow. We want to keep that neutral connection. So you might even feel a little bit of upper abs, just stopping that back from arching. Next time you lift, hold at the top. I will just get everyone to bring your arms back down, pushing through your feet, tuck that tail and keep your pelvis still as we come into alternating leg floats. So use your exhale, tighten the muscles that wrap around your waist and float one leg up to tabletop. Inhale, place that foot back down, other side. Exhale, float that leg. So the idea here is we're engaging deep core and obliques on that exhale, and that's hopefully going to maintain that relationship of your pelvis to your rib cage. So as you lift one leg, we don't want one hip dropping, dipping, shifting, twisting, any of those sorts of things. So squeeze your butt, push down with the arms, and use that breath effectively. You've got one more each side. We're nearly there. Placing both feet down and roll your spine down onto your mat. We're actually going to keep your lower back pushing down, so that's an imprinted spine position. Feel that your lower abs are holding you there. Arms reach back up, float your legs to tabletop. We'll do a dead bug. Bit of a funny name, but a very effective exercise. So exhale, you're going to reach your right arm and your left leg away from your center. Inhale to return. And then the other side, exhale, left arm and right leg. reaching away. And inhale, back to center. If you are at home, dogs seem to love this one. I think they think they're humans stuck on the floor and can't get up. So they're gonna come over and give you all the kisses if you've got your pets around at home. Pushing the lowest ribs down, keeping that connection. So you might find you can't take the arm and the leg too far away, and that's okay. Finding your range. One more each side. Last one. You're going to stretch the legs up to the ceiling, nod your chin to your chest. Take your hands to the back of your right leg, lifting your head and shoulders. Pull that right leg in as you stretch the left leg down. Let's do scissors here. We're going to inhale to switch legs. Use a double exhale, pull that left leg in. Inhale on the transition, exhale, exhale on the pull. Try to keep your upper body upright as you do switch legs, so you don't want to be bobbing up and down as you switch. So your abdominals are working. This is good for endurance of the abdominals and getting some accidental hamstring stretch at the same time. 10 seconds. Last one. And hug your knees. Rest your head. We're going to roll onto our side here. So coming into side lying facing me, your bottom arm is a pillow. You can cradle the back of your neck here with your hand. Stretch your legs out, top hand on the floor, and rest the bottom leg down. If you prefer, bottom knee can bend forward. Top hip is pushing away. We lift and lower that top leg. Lift and lower. So if you've got the balance to do so, keep the bottom leg stretched out straight. But I do highly recommend top hand on the top hip here. If you need it for balance at the front, go for it. Otherwise, keep your top hip pushed away from your armpit. So you want to keep the length down the top and the bottom side of the waist. It's like the bottom side of the waist is away from your mat, and you should be getting this work into your butt on the top side of the hip. Really important muscles for stability in standing and walking and running and getting around these side butt muscles. Exhale. Inhale, good. 3 more. We're going to hold the next one at the top. Keep the top hip pushed away. We will go top hand to the floor, stretch the bottom leg out. Now the bottom leg lifts and lowers. So that top side butt is working this whole time as the inner thighs of the bottom leg engage. Try to soften through your neck and shoulders here and find a position of this top hand where there's not too much load into your wrist. So you want to push underneath your whole hand, sort of thinking of the middles of your fingers, pressing down into the floor, and make sure your top hip hasn't rolled back. It's easy back here, keep them stacked. 2 more. Squeeze your legs together, double leg lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, hike the top hip up to your armpit. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Now you're still getting some residual inner thigh and outer butt happening, but now we're working into the top side of the waist, into those obliques. If this feels horrible in your lower back, bend your bottom knee forward and go back to that top leg lift, keeping the top hip away. So we're staying out of the lower back and into the back side again. Otherwise, let's push it. We're gonna pulse at the top. Little pulses here, really working into that top side of the waist. Both shoulders melting down away from your ears. 15 seconds to go yet. Can we go higher? 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And rest those legs down. Bend your knees forward. You're going to pull your bottom arm across your chest. Tuck that elbow in close and bring the hand to the top shoulder. Top hand on the floor in front of you. And if you're a level 2, if you're pretty strong, keep your knees stacked together. Otherwise, reach your top leg away. Sideline triceps. Push your top hand into your mat. Press away from the mat. And then control that return nice and slow. Pushing up and away, and you're reaching through that leg, and you're still feeling all that work from before that we did. Again, with the wrist, try to feel you're not just pressing into the heel, so don't let those fingers peel up. Press down through the whole hand, and if you're wanting to make it harder, stack those knees. Little pulses at the top here to finish, 15 seconds. Finding a comfortable position of your head, like your head's just following the alignment of your neck and spine. Maybe looking down at that bottom hand, 5 seconds. It's a good angle to get into triceps and very strong into the pecs on that top side. 2, and slowly come all the way down. Your bottom arm can actually stretch back out. We're gonna take a stretch here. So a bit of recovery. Reach your top arm forward. We're gonna do sideline spinal rotation. So knees are stacked again for everybody. Inhale, reach your top arm up to the ceiling and keep those legs heavy. As you exhale, reach all the way back. Try and get your shoulder and hand to the floor. Inhale, stay. And exhale, come all the way back over. And we'll go again. Inhale, top arm up. See, it's not all hard work, this one. Exhale, reaching back. This one's a nice one. Inhale, stay. Enjoy a moment of stillness. And exhale to come back over. We've got time for one more only. Inhale up. Enjoy it while it lasts. Try and rotate and reach and create space in your body. Inhale. And exhale all the way back over. We're gonna push ourselves up and swing your legs to the other side of your mat. Again, you can start with that bottom knee bent forward. Bottom arm is a pillow. Feel that your shoulders are stacked on top of each other, hips are stacked and top leg is reaching away. And we've got that lower and lift. Lower and lift, squeezing into the top side of the hip. The more we do, the more you'll feel it, as you can remember from the other side. And I do highly recommend top hand physically pushing that top hip away, or on the floor if you need it for balance. Otherwise, pushing away, helping us to isolate into the hip there. So nice low impact options. Reaching. Lift, lift, lift. Go as high as you can before that hip starts to hike. You want to get full contraction on that top side. 2 more. Holding this last one at the top. Stretch that bottom leg away. Bring your top hand down to the floor. Bottom leg lift and lower. Lift and lower. Try to feel that the underside of your waist stays away from your mat as much as possible. So we're still getting that squeeze into the top butt. Lift, working into inner thighs of that bottom leg and both shoulders down away from your ears as much as you can. Good. Squeezing your bottom leg up into your top leg here. So you're not just throwing it up there and just going through the motions. I want you to squeeze into it and really make it count. I want you to make the most of your time here with me today. You've set aside time. Let's put in the energy and reap the rewards. Next time you do lift that bottom leg, squeeze them together. We're gonna lower and lift both legs. Allow that top hip to hike to the armpit. We're working into the waist. Inhale, lower, and exhale, lift. Now it is a Pilates concept here. I know we do it in the gym as well. We exhale on the hard work. Specifically when we're working through the midsection though, you can imagine it's really hard to get a full contraction of any of the muscles that wrap around your waist if you've got a belly full of air. So squeeze it out, lift those legs. Inhale, lower. Good, make sure that top hip hasn't rolled back. 3 more full range. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze. Next one, hold and pulse at the top. Final 20 seconds here, work into the waist. Any breathing is good breathing. You might hyperventilate trying to exhale on every lift. 10 seconds, a little higher. 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, bend your knees forward. Bring your bottom arm across your chest here. We're gonna do our sideline triceps. So top hand is on the floor, it's in front of your chest, not your face. Press through the entire underneath of the hand, and level 1's reach that top leg away. We're gonna push away from the floor, and then lower back down with control. Both shoulders away from ears. Make sure you're not hunching up. And again, protecting your wrists, strengthening your wrists. It is a nice, slightly open wrist position. It's not that full 90 degrees that we might have for other push-up variations. So it can be a nice one to practice. Good. Pushing away. We've still got 3 more here. Stay with it. Your option again is to do your pulses at the top, restacking the knees and squeezing, fully extending that elbow every single time. Nearly there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bottom arm stretches out as we lie all the way back down. Keep those knees bent forward, or stack them if they weren't, and reach your top arm forward. We'll do our sideline spinal rotation. Head is heavy. Take an inhale, arm reaches up. And exhale to rotate and reach all the way back. Inhale, stay there. And exhale to come back over. Inhale, reaching your top arm up. You can follow your fingertips with your eyes too. It helps that shoulder to move more and the whole rib cage to rotate. Inhale, stay. Exhale to come back over. And again, we've got 1 more here. Inhale, up. And exhale, reaching back. Inhale, hold. Enjoy this inhale. And we are bringing it all the way over on that exhale. We're going to roll onto our bellies here and work into our upper back. So, rolling over. We're going to keep our forehead down so we're not extending into our spine today. Resting your forehead and the top of your nose to your mat with your arms by your sides. Walk your feet away from your hips. Lengthen out that lower back. We're going to rotate the arms. Exhale. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and turn your palms to face inward to your body. Inhale, round the arms forward. Let them rest back down. Exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together like you're opening broad across your collarbones. And inhale. To return, we want to feel the muscles in the back of the shoulders, maybe the back of the arms, and even under your armpits. So reach your fingertips to your ankles at the top of the move. And then inhale to return. Try not to lift your hands too high here. We don't want to lift them higher than our shoulders because that's going to encourage those shoulders to round forward. So keeping that openness, your thumbs will be just hovering off the mat at the very top of the movement. Squeezing here. Inhale, round. Hold the next one at the top. So our arms aren't super heavy. I know this isn't the heaviest and the hardest thing that you've ever done, but the longer we hold here, you're really going to feel those upper back muscles. Double check those shoulder blades are toward the spine. Can you reach your fingertips closer to your ankles? And now you're really starting to feel it. We are working on the endurance of those upper back muscles. And that's how we want these muscles to work, to hold our posture all day long. Thumbs are hovering just off the floor. Those arms are starting to feel heavy. Squeeze, squeeze. Maybe you're getting the shakes, but keep your head down. This is important to keep the load out of both your neck and also your lower back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together more. 1 more deep breath. Bending your elbows. Turn your palms to face inward. Head stays down. Exhale, straighten your arms and reach forward through your fingertips. Inhale, bend the elbows. Squeeze them into your sides. And exhale, tighten around your waist and reaching forward. Inhale to bend. I want you to notice that you are doing that tightening effect through the waist. If you feel that your feet are lifting off the floor, it means your core's not on. We want the core to absorb the weight or to counterbalance the weight of those arms reaching forward, not the legs lifting up to counterbalance. So tightening the waist and reaching forward. It's like your belly button's trying to stay up away from the floor. And you might feel that your glutes and hamstrings are active, but they're not loaded, they're not lifting. Three more. If it is a bit tight in your shoulders, take your arms out wider, more of that sort of Y shape rather than more parallel. Reaching. Last one. Reaching and hold. Turn your palms down, fingertips to the floor and stay here. If you're comfortable with a little bit of back extension, Lift your head, lift your chest, but you're still looking down. Try not to overlift your chin. It's really hard to breathe there, restricting the throat. Belly button stays lifted. We're going to exhale. Squeeze your left butt cheek, lift your left arm and your right leg. Inhale to lower. Other side, squeeze your right butt cheek, lifting right leg and left arm. Inhale to lower. So we're practicing that activation pattern. Get the squeeze of the butt before adding the load of the leg, okay? I don't want you to take this into your lower back. Squeeze and lift. Belly button stays lifted. One more here. If you're comfortable keeping your chest lifted, stay there, or rest the head down, exhale. Tighten the waist, squeeze both butt cheeks. Lift both arms and both legs. This is your final 60 seconds. We are swimming. We are swimming. You are swimming. Arms and legs are fluttering here. If it's getting too much for your back or neck, your head rests down. If it's still too much, you can do just the legs or just the arms. So choosing what works for you, working every muscle down the back of your body at this point. We've still got 30 seconds to go. Can you reach longer through the fingertips? And ideally, we're not rocking too much side to side. Again, options of doing just the arms or just the legs. Nearly there. Any breathing is good, especially when your tummy's a little bit restricted here on the mat. Just get that air in. One more breath. Lift everything and lower. Bring your hands under your shoulders and push yourself back into a child's pose. Use your hands to press your backside to your heels. Allow your forehead to rest down. If this is a little bit tight in your knees, you can come up into a cat stretch as an alternative if you don't quite have that flexibility. Through the knees. Take one more deep breath. And bring yourself up. That's our 30 in 30. Give yourselves a little round of applause at home. Well done. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Feel free to do any stretches that you feel like your body needs. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.